This your boy Dre.
And this your boy David.
And we are the Perspective Podcast. Thank y'all. And I know y'all are excited for today's topic. This is going to be a really good one. Let me shout out my cast before we get into the guest. We definitely have our editor-in-chief. We have Shannon. We have our producer and director, Eli. And we have Ty, our sound engineer.
All right, so Dre, today is going to be like a really good one. Y'all know Black Friday is coming up, and two of the big items that we're all looking forward to, these video game systems and sneakers. So, are you getting the Xbox? Are you getting the PS5? What type of sneakers do you get? There's J's, there's the Yeezys, and everything else in between. Y'all can tell I don't really do all that. But
my man buys sneakers from Groupon.
I do, and they're really good and comfortable. But today's guest, Julian Harris, is going to tell us a lot about what we should be doing when it comes to all of these items. Want to get into it?
Yes, let's get into it.
All right, so let me introduce Julian. You know, guys, we always got to do that reading is fundamental. So we're going to start off with Julian Harris. Julian is an IT professional by day and a sneaker enthusiast / gamer at night. He has worked in IT for 10 years with companies like AT&T, Equifax, Express Scripts, and Anheuser-Busch. As a gamer, he is the head of collaboration with the Game Fanatics, where he creates content and works with companies like Xbox, PlayStation, Ubisoft, etc., reviewing the newest video game software and hardware. And as a personal note, this is my line brother in the illustrious Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, so just had to throw that out there. So Julian, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
That's what you're here for. That's straight to it. Yeah. This is about to be fun.
Absolutely. Like you said, Julian, definitely thank you for coming to bless the mic, blessing the podcast. We definitely appreciate you coming out. Today is going to be a really good one. But yeah, like David said, man, let's just jump right into it. So, Julian, we know that, Christmas is coming up and everybody wants to do the holiday shopping. So what are you thinking? Is it that want to be the Xbox or the PlayStation?
It depends. I can't give you either, just straight either one. So it depends on where, sorry about that. So it depends on where your friends are, what you like to play. So I'll say, if you like single player stuff, like shorter experiences, something that you can't necessarily play too many other places, I say go with the PlayStation. The best bang for your buck is going to be the Xbox, but this year things are a little different. So you have 4 different choices to pick from. So on the PlayStation side, you have the disc-less version, all digital version. Then you have a disc-based version, so that's $400 and that's $500. On the Xbox side, you have a Series S, which is $300. Then you have the Series X, which is $500. Also on the Xbox side, they have this thing called All Access. So you can pay $25 or $35 a month. You get access to about 150, 200 games, and then you also get Xbox Live, all that stuff. And you don't, it's a line of credit, but there's no interest. I don't even know if they charge tax.
So, wait, Julian, so what I'm hearing is, forget the specs with the Xbox or forget the specs with the PlayStation. It's about my money. Do I want to pay X amount for X? No pun intended. Or do I want to pay over time, or do I want to just go out there and do this? Is it more money based than it is the specs and what the games are going to be?
Yeah, because this time around they're pretty much the same. If I don't think too many people will be worried about getting deep into the weeds. Xbox right now is more powerful, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. What you need to think about is if you have a 4K TV. If you don't, then maybe go with that Series S, $300. You're saving $200, or you're saving $10 a month. And you don't have any choice like that on the PlayStation side right now. But if you like stuff like Spider-Man or Uncharted, those single player things, I say go with the PlayStation. But also, where are your friends playing?
So let's look at it like this. I'm going to back up.
Yeah.
A lot of times when you think video games, you're thinking kids 10 to 15 years old, they're playing video games and then they hang it up. We got some facts here that I want to read to you. First, it says the majority of gamers are now adults between the ages of 18 to 34. Yeah. And surprisingly, it's not just men. 41% of the gamer market are made up of women.
Yeah.
What does that tell you about not just these game systems, but maybe the type of games that they now need to create for this new market. It's fun to play with Mario, but you know, I have grown men and women playing games now, so I have to up my ante.
Yeah, I mean, the majority of stuff that's out there is not meant for children. A lot of stuff never was. Once you got past like out of the 80s and some of the 90s.
That's when I played.
Yeah, you old.
Yeah,
You old.
Full disclaimer, I did have the first Nintendo.
Yeah, you old, bro. You had the Atari before that, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, you old, bro.
I mean, David was playing in arcades and stuff. I mean, I did too.
No, we had Tilt, right? I'm like,
I'm talking about all the way back.
Yeah, all the way back.
That is as far
video
back.
games, black and white.
Ain't nothing wrong. Shout out to all my arcade game players.
You had to change the channel.
Y'all know if y'all could get an
They had the
arcade.
dial TV.
If y'all could get an arcade system in your house right now, you would have it.
I would. I'm trying to get one.
I would just
In the
because it's
discussion.
a
Thank you.
But at the same time, you still got the Nokia where you play Snake with the buttons.
And that was probably one of the most fun games ever, because when the snake got too long, and you're like, how am I gonna make this right turn? How am I gonna do that? Yep.
I was about to make a joke.
Bro,
Make the joke, Julian. They want to hear you.
I'll come back around to that.
Okay.
But what were you saying? Oh,
It's gonna be nasty, everybody.
Yeah, the demographic of games. But so you have to think about it. Like you said, you've been playing games for the majority of your life. So it's like, yeah, we were kids when it started, but now you have people that are our age or older making these games. So you have stuff like, you have games addressing mental illness, drug addiction, then you have stuff like that is also talking about accessibility. So people with like low mobility, they can't see, all these different things. They have different games where there's a game now where the entire game is just black and you're playing strictly off of sound. So it's like,
And people buy these.
well, yeah, because you have to think about it. There are blind people, like,
Oh, I get blind people, but I'm like, those of us who can see.
I mean, yeah, because you're putting yourself in the shoes of the person that has lived their life.
So I couldn't just play my video game with my eyes closed?
There's,
I'm playing. I'm just.
but
Bro, you so fucked up, bro.
but it's this dude named Blind Fury.
Oh, yeah, the rapper?
No, it's a video game.
Oh, I thought
There's
you
another
talking about the rapper, bro.
It's his cousin.
It might be. But like, I mean, there's people who go through these
That's good,
the
though.
whole thing.
Because again, like these statistics were just telling us is that you have such a wide range of audience now that you want to. Hey, if you still want to play a video game, we will make that game for you to get you out there.
Right, and they definitely even going back to remaking games, you know?
Yeah.
Like the Crash Bandicoot and everything else.
They are.
They really
No,
are.
I mean, I'm like,
Because you
yay.
don't know, bro. You
Right, I'm
don't
just saying, I don't care about Crash. I care about Mass Effect. Mass Effect 3, they're coming out with the redigitized 4K version of the Mass Effect.
Redigitized.
I don't know. That's not what it's called. Digitalized.
Remastered.
Yeah, they
They're
remastered. Like that.
Yo, somebody come get this guy.
The audience loves me.
Sure. But yeah, like I definitely noticed that, you know, they are doing like a lot of remastering of video games and things like that, and it really even drew my attention. And I've always been a video game fanatic. Had every system, and right now I'm an Xbox man. So like just having the opportunity of going back and playing my childhood games.
Yeah.
You know, with all of the remasters, what is your favorite game that has been remastered from your childhood?
Dang. You just bought it.
I did?
Final Fantasy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
told you.
No, I forgot about that. No, Final Fantasy VII Remake, that's on PlayStation. I think it's coming to everything, but it's on PlayStation right now. That was like the first game that I got into, like, that was like really Japanese. Before that, I was playing like all the fighting games, sports games, and that, you know, I don't do sports at all now. But,
Exactly.
But it changed the way that I viewed a lot of just video games in general. Like, you created and maintained like I was a kid when I played this, but like thinking about it now, again, like I said, a lot of games may not be made for children, but when I was playing it as a kid, you're dealing with death, you're dealing with basically this big corporation gentrification, basically.
Yep.
Just to make it simple. Yeah.
So is that the game that got you into like this whole video game collaboration and things that really sparked your interest in, you know, pursuing that?
Well, what ended up happening with that, I started college with the intent of making video games. And then once I started taking computer science, I was like, I don't like math. So I stopped.
Man,
But
shout out to the math majors.
But once I graduated, I met a group of people, and we just started. We made our first website. Sorry, we made our first website, and through that, like I went to Boston, LA. Like over the years, it's just grown to the point where I'm getting flown out to different places. I was supposed to go to Dubai, and they got like
Julian getting flew out.
So you mean to tell me that I can sit here and just stream a video game and I can get flew out to Dubai and Boston and all these different places?
Not at all.
Yeah. Like some of the stuff I paid for, but like when I went to San Fran earlier this year, I didn't pay for that.
Got a sugar mama.
No.
You can get Julian in trouble, bro.
I know. Just kidding, Ashley. One time for his. Can we say you married?
Yeah.
Okay, he's married. I don't want. You might get like fans now, but he's a happily married man, and we love his wife too. I want to go in a different direction. Going back to the Xbox and the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
So this week is when all of those systems are coming out. Everyone is going to flock the stores for Black Friday sales. And I may look up and get Xbox or PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
My question is, what games are out right now that I should be looking for or looking into as saying this is the accompanying game? Because everyone, you're about to pay like $400-$500 for the system, and there's no game there. So what should I be looking at? And you want the hookah too?
Well, I got.
Can you talk in hook?
No.
Okay, that's on me.
Anyway,
Fucking hog.
Such language, Dre. Y'all hear that?
freaking hard. No, so
I was talking about the hog part.
but just release. Like I said, we work closely with Ubisoft, but they had Watch Dogs Legion. Then you have what am I playing right now?
That
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
You have all.
Valhalla.
Yeah, you play as Viking, but you have all the sports games that just came out. So you have for the new consoles. They're actually two separate versions. So you have the old. There's a lot of stuff in the new, like the PS5, Xbox Series version. So you have all the sports games that came out. You have the new Spider-Man. One thing that kind of pissed me off about that though, they took his Jordans off. They gave him Adidas.
Heck no. Nike was like, nope.
Pretty much. But
are these games backwards compatible? Like, do I have to buy only play PS5 or Xbox Series X games, or how does that work?
on the Xbox side, no. On the PlayStation side, kind of.
Oh,
So
sounds like a yeah.
But like I said, with the sports games, they made two different versions.
Mm-hmm.
So the games aren't necessarily the same. So on the newer version of like 2K or something, something that's not in the old version to my knowledge is that they actually have the WNBA. They have like WNBA players in there.
Oh, that's neat.
They have the Spider-Man is on both. On the Xbox side, you can pretty much play everything. And that's another one of the things, like the controls and stuff. That's all forward and backwards compatible. On the PlayStation side, you can use the PS4 controller on the PS5, but you can't use the PS4 controller on PS5 games.
So, I have a 4K TV.
Yeah.
I have both systems.
Yeah.
And I have 3 games each for each system.
Mm-hmm.
If another person walks into the room, which one do you tell them to go get right now?
You keep trying to give me the pick.
You got to pick. You got to pick.
I mean, I'm an Xbox guy. I'm gonna say Xbox.
Okay, y'all heard that. So this is brought to you by Xbox.
Maybe, but
Maybe. But what if you're like a diehard PS5 or PlayStation fan? Like they have a crew of people that they've only had PS1, 2, 3, etc.
So like I said, it's dropping with Spider-Man Miles Morales. So you can play as Black
That
Panther.
looks nice.
Yeah. So you then they have this game called Demon Souls. It's like remastered again. You talked about games being remade. Crap, what else is coming out? I mean, if you want a sports game or something. Like one of the things when these consoles first drop, a lot of times it's not that much, to be totally honest.
I was about to say, are the games now taking advantage or full advantage of the power of these systems, or do we have to have this conversation again maybe next summer or next fall when, okay, now we know the power of said systems and this is how the new games are going to start looking?
Yeah, I say wait till next year. And I mean, even going into Black Friday, if you can't get your hands on one, I mean, you can wait. To be totally honest, because again, some of the games are like they'll automatically update.
That's good.
But I will say, so far, games are $10 more expensive on PlayStation.
So definitely Xbox. Save your $10.
Yeah. So, and I mean, even if you don't do that all access thing I was talking about on the Xbox side, $15 a month gets you every first party game that Xbox releases.
And it's all access different. So tell us about, don't they have like Xbox Gold and Xbox something else?
So
How does that work?
So Gold, that's just like the online service. So
Okay.
that's like PlayStation Plus.
Okay.
Xbox Game Pass, like I said, gives you access to like a lot. It's like a Netflix. So you have a library of games you can pick from that are just there. You can download them. Then you have Game Pass Ultimate, which lets you do that on PC and your Xbox, and it gives you Xbox Live Gold in that.
Okay.
And then on PlayStation side, they started to add this thing in now where it's like you have a few games, not as many as the Xbox side. But again, like with both of these, you can play all the all the stuff on PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay. So need you to scoot up a little bit to the mic for us. But other thing I would say, let's talk about your life as far as your career as a gamer. You know, you are in the Game Fanatics, right?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, I will. So
There you go.
Game Fanatics is a diverse group of so it's a group of game enthusiasts, like a lot of black people, people of color, women.
One time for black people, people of color, and women.
Well, I had to separate it because it's different. Black people,
No,
and people of color.
I love all three of them. Like, we just elected a vice president. Shout out to Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Who went to an HBCU that was not Florida A&M University. That's tight.
I'm still at HBCU. You gotta give me props.
Howard.
I did not go to an HBCU. But anyway.
But he went to an all-black high school, like the blackest high school in St. Louis. The oldest one west of the Mississippi.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, cool. Beaumont. Anyway, what was the question?
Tell us about the Game Fanatics.
Oh yeah. So like I said, like you said in the beginning, we work with different companies we do product reviews, video game reviews, developer interviews. We stream, we make YouTube videos. We do like, have you heard of Child's Play? It's not as weird as you're about to make it seem. It's a charity where you...
I am a mandated reporter. I do not know. No, you talking about the movie with little redhead Chucky doll, right?
So that's where we stream, make videos, do whatever, and people donate, and we give the money to children's hospitals.
That's amazing. You should have led with that.
Well, yeah.
Because we were thinking we might have to turn you into the police.
Whatever.
Child's Play?
And then, what else do I do? Well, so like I said, I'm head of collaboration. So I reach out to companies, try to get free product, whether that's for review or giveaways and different stuff like that. Set up interviews, sorry. And like I said, sometimes we'll fly out to the different, if I have time, I have another job, but.
Well, what I like about it, you said it's a lot of minorities, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes, as you're learning the video game industry, there's been a push to say, hey, we want more characters and more games that look like us.
Yeah.
So to see someone or an entity kind of on the behind the scenes that is made up of people that look like us, that's actually a really good thing.
Yeah.
A question I would have for you and for your team, as I pass the hookah, so you can get a hit of the hookah, would be, how do we go about supporting you? Like, where do I find you guys at? Do I have to just kind of walk down the street and run into a Game Fanatic, or are you guys like online or anything?
Yeah, so you can just Google the Game Fanatics or go to thegamefanatics.com. Most likely my face will pop up because I do most of the video content it's the Game Fanatics everywhere.
Are you on YouTube or anything?
Yeah, Game Fanatics, the Game Fanatics, yeah.
Or on Twitter?
The Game Fanatics,
Twitch?
the Game Fanatics.
There you go. See, I'm helping you out. If I wanted to send you an email, how would I do that?
Julian at thegamefanatics.com.
Do y'all see that? So it's the Game Fanatics.
Yeah.
How do you spell the? Look, it's a running joke here. Is it D-E or T-H-E?
Oh,
Is
my
that for
God.
real?
No,
It really
it's
is.
really not. They talk about my accent, and no. David just being old. That's what it is.
No, I like it. I follow them, so soft work.
I follow him too.
On what?
Huh? On Twitter and YouTube.
At what?
The Game Fanatics.
There you go. Y'all hear that? The Game Fanatics. And if you wanted to send an email, what would you do?
Julian at The Game Fanatics.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
So, any other video game questions, thoughts before we switch over to sneakers?
Yeah. Nah, so let's get into the sneakers.
Like this is what I came for.
Great transition, Drake.
Let's
I
get
love
into
it.
the sneakers.
Now I sit back.
Please. You call them gym shoes. We're not talking about Groupon anymore. So let's get into the sneakers.
Running shoes.
What is the top shoe?
For me, it's Jordan 1.
Why?
It's just, it's simple. Like, so as I've gotten older, my style has changed, but the 1 has grown with me. That was very mature.
It really was.
I love it.
It really was.
But that's really like I have 23 different pairs of just ones.
Yeah, nah, I don't even like ones. I'd rather do foam posits. I've
But-
always been a foam posit type of guy.
But when I'm gonna go back for a minute. So when I got into, I've always been into shoes. My sister bought me my first pair of Jordans. They were Team Jordan, but it was cool. It was cool. But
I can't believe they were Team Jordans.
I mean, yeah.
I wouldn't know a Team Jordan if it came and hit me upside the head right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would. You would still wear them too.
Sure would. And
Mhm.
rock and be like, I just paid, I don't know, $59.99.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably.
There you
But
go.
when it really like popped off is when I got to college and got those refund checks. So I was buying shoes. I mean, I spent thousands of dollars on shoes like in the first couple of years.
Well, I was about to say, that sounded good. I was going to say, aren't different areas in the country known for like their shoes? I was about to say,
Absolutely.
like, wasn't St. Louis known for like Air Force Ones or Nelly made it famous?
Yeah. So going back, is this an argument y'all had?
No,
no.
ain't no argument.
Well, because there is an argument that because they were more popular back in the day in New York,
Mhm.
but back then they were still cheap. Like I forgot what they call them, like uptowns or something. I forgot.
Yeah, they do call them uptown.
Yeah, uptown. But and even Nike has said this. Like they credited Nelly with kind of the resurgence of Air Force Ones, and that's what made the price shoot up.
Right.
So the first few pairs of Air Force Ones I got from like hand me downs from my sister's boyfriends. I don't know why they were that small, but that's where I got them from.
You were a big child.
But I wasn't. But
I'm trying to help you out, Julian. And your sister and her boyfriends.
anyway, but like right around that time, this is like 2000, about 2000, if I'm thinking correctly. That's when Nelly came out. They always wore Air Force Ones, of course, and then the song came out and the price jumped $20-$30, and I could never find a pair of mid top white Air Force Ones. Like it took me years.
Dre, what did they wear in DC?
So in DC, we pretty much we definitely wear a lot of phones. And then if you don't know what phones are, they're phone posits. In Baltimore, they call them dope mans. But you know, it's Penny Hardaway's original shoe. Very still popular. I have at least like 7 pair, and that's on the low end.
Do you know, does Penny still get like any
Endorsements?
residuals
Yes.
or anything from that?
Yes, to my knowledge, he does.
That's good for him.
And then
Isn't he a
we also-
coach? Doesn't he coach?
Look, we getting too deep into his life.
Look, the audience
Can we
wants
get-
to know.
we
These
get
are
too deep in
those
his life.
hard-hitting questions.
But back to the original question, we also are known for New Balances. We definitely are known for New Balances, but here in St. Louis, y'all wear the 574s, which are orthopedic grandma shoes.
I don't wear those.
I would defend y'all, but I don't know what those are.
I just got into an argument.
I was there when he did.
On Friday about 574s versus 993s and 990s. You know, and we definitely
Look this up.
and
we don't know
definitely
none of
look
this
at.
is.
We definitely wear our 990s, 991s, 992s, 993s.
What about New York? Aren't they known for Timbs?
That's what they call them.
I'm just throwing it out there. What about like California? Don't they wear Chucks?
You got Chucks and Vans.
Chucks and Vans.
Oh, and SBs are all over the place.
What do they wear in the South? Hey, what all us up? What y'all wear down there? Hit us up. Slide into our DMs. Let us know what y'all wear and why y'all wear them.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, to answer your question, we definitely, each area does have its own style. But you'll always catch me in a pair of foam posits. I'll be that type of person who'll put on a full suit with a pair of foams.
He has done this, and I chastise him every time. Okay, and also at the...
At the what? Yeah, think about it.
Oh, I was just about to say at our derby party.
Those wasn't foams, those was New Balances.
I don't care, like tennis shoes, shit. But the question I'll have is, okay, so we talking about all these different tennis shoes. How do I go about getting them? Do I just go to Foot Locker, or like what do I do?
I mean, you can, but if you want the stuff that's sought after, you have to go. I mean, you can get them at Foot Locker, but they sell out so quick, and then you got to stay in the line, worry about people mugging you when you walk out the store. The easiest way for real is to just go online, but then you have to deal with bots.
Mm-hmm.
Don't they have like specialty sneaker stores and stuff popping up around the country? Do we have any like locally or anything?
Why, yes. So
that was the major transitional plug that you guys would ever see.
So I don't think I put that in there, but I'm a partner with 39 Castles, my boy Woody, Daryl Jones. I mean, we came through. The idea came when we were in college. So I used to work at a store in the Loop called Our Soul. And I mean, we just used to kick it. And there were different, it was when the sneaker culture was a little different. A lot of people used to just kick it in the stores. And I mean, chop it up about shoes, chop it up about games, sports,
So like
whatever.
a barbershop for real.
Yeah, it was like a barbershop. And with 39 Castles, Woody and me, so I mean, we have four of us, called it Round Table. It's me, Woody, Eddie, Tristan, y'all know.
Never
they don't
mind
need to
these
be plugged. You just need to know Woody right now. And then with the addition of Daniel, our other line brother, we wanted to recreate that feeling that it was like the mid 2000s, where you can come in. He has like video games set up. But the thing that makes 39 Castles different than a lot of these other stores is that they focus on community and the culture in general. A lot of these new stores, I mean, nothing against them. The culture is the culture. And it's always been a certain amount of, how do I want to say it? There's a lot of different types of people that are part of the sneaker culture, but recently reselling has really changed the people who are involved in it. And Woody has really tried to focus on, again, like I said, the community, and he has a lot of old shoes.
Right.
And a lot of these other stores focus on hype. I mean, and that's fine, because if I can't find it, I know where I can get a pair if they sell out. But there's a lot of stuff, like if you have a connection to a shoe that you had with a kid, as you were a kid, sorry, it's more likely. Shut up.
I say this is going in the direction of R. Kelly now.
No,
please leave the kids alone, y'all.
Most likely, you're more likely to find that at 39 Castles, and then you can just come in there and kick it, like I said.
How do I find out more information about 39 Castles?
Instagram at 39 Castles.
So another question then, because I've heard this. Again, I'm not a big sneakerhead. I'm big at all. But I hear a lot about something called the Sneakers app or something. Like, what is that? People I've seen people like crying.
The devil.
I've heard about that.
So the Sneakers app, it's been around a lot longer than you would think. I think it came out like 2010. I found out in about 2012. But it's where Nike releases a lot of their more sought after, their more rare shoes. But good luck trying to hit. What are you doing? Trying to hit on anything there.
Does Nike own stock in the sneaker app? Like, is that a Nike website?
It's their app. So
got it.
If a shoe doesn't sell out on the sneakers app, you can probably get it on Nike.com. But there's certain stuff that
just pick up the ashtray.
It's hot.
Yeah. So the sneakers app is basically where Nike they release a lot of their more sought after shoes, their collaborations, things like that you probably won't find at a normal shoe store. And this is kind of like going back a little bit and getting in the weeds of sneaker stores. So with Nike, different stores have tier 0 all the way up to like tier, I don't know, tier something, but tier 0 gets everything. And I mean, it's a gift and a curse because sneakers allows people to get access to those shoes that back in the day, like, you would have to go to maybe only one store in St. Louis had it if they had it at all, or you would have to go to like Chicago, LA, Atlanta, stuff like that. It's like different markets, almost like how different neighborhoods have different levels of grocery stores. That's how the sneaker stores work. So sneakers it gives access to people, but now people are kind of taking advantage of it.
So if you're thinking like that, if it's such a niche market, would you say sneakers are assets now? Like, is this something that I can invest in and say, hey, I'm sitting on a collection of, you're probably sitting on a collection of what? Almost $10,000 worth of tennis shoes? Am I being a real?
Oh, me myself?
Yeah.
Probably. I mean, I don't have anything too crazy anymore because I sold a lot of them, but like, let's say last year I sold, 4 pairs of shoes. I made like $4,000 off of spending, $500? But so with that comes, and this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier when it comes to people entering the culture and entering the sneaker market, you have people that are in it strictly to resale. So it's going to make it a lot harder for you or me who are not using what they call a bot, which is just like, I press a button, it goes into the website, buys the shoe for me. So that's why if you try to go to sneakers or you try to go to Foot Locker and get one of these shoes, you can't get in. So, I mean...
So what if we're like, I guess if I'm new to tennis shoes, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't buy them. And I like a tennis shoe.
Yeah.
Like, should I think about, but this isn't the fancy tennis shoe or this isn't the tennis shoe that's in, but I like the way it looks.
Where would you like?
Okay.
I mean, where would you like? As long as you wear it with confidence, you should be good. I mean, there's certain things, it's like, we all know that everyone doesn't have access to the same level of shoe, but like a Van or a Chuck, all the way up to like the most exclusive Jordan, or, I mean, you can go to the luxury brands, which I don't really rock with too much, but I mean, there's levels for everyone. There's an entry point for everyone.
Yeah, David, so where your Groupon?
All day, every day. Shout out to Groupon.com. Groupon. No. Do you age out of tennis shoes?
No, I mean, it's like I said, the one has grown with me, and it's one of those shoes that I locked into, that silhouette. I started with Dunks, which were along the same lines as a Jordan 1, but my style has changed. My pants are skinnier. I mean, slim. My pants are slimmer.
Y'all heard it here. This is Julian is out wearing skinnier pants. Do you have to hop into them?
Oh, man.
What? Anyway, but if you think about it, like that same shoe for me, like I'm a big dude, so my stuff's not going to be too slim. But also, I can't wear a slim pant with a I don't wear foams.
I love the way this has transitioned to Fashion 101. People, make sure you wear your skinny jeans, which are
slim
composite foams.
With your phone.
With your phone.
But you gotta have
with
little
your foam
feet.
composites.
You have to have
Your
little
dunks.
feet.
Because
if you don't have little feet, it will not work.
A foam composite is a big shoe.
It's a bulky shoe.
Ooh.
Like, it's literally a bulky shoe.
So it make your feet look bigger.
Yeah, in a sense.
So you out there lying to women when they think you have big feet.
No. I tell everybody I wear a size 7 with confidence. I have no issue with telling anybody. Actually, it kind of works out in my favor a little bit. So, but...
We will not even...
but yeah, like Julian was saying, like, it's really like how you wear it and the type of confidence that you have, because you come outside and get Groupons every day and you don't care. No?
Not at all.
Right. And where I won't come outside in a pair of Groupon shoes.
He will not.
So, I mean...
Usually you'll find him barefoot.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But they do in the DMV.
And I'm not even from the DMV.
There you go.
Trying to
This is his land.
Southeast.
No, so I guess my big thing is, so if you wrap it all up, it's basically wear what you want. If you're going to go down the route of acquiring pairs and pairs, is there like an app or is there a system that you can go through to say, hey, this is how I know I'm going to get the shoes that at least I want all the time?
I don't know if I want to give you all the secrets.
No, don't give us all.
No. I mean, there's no secrets. I buy shoes just like everyone else. I don't have any bots. I don't have anything like that. Download the sneakers app. Everything doesn't sell out, but at least you have a chance at getting some of this stuff. Go to or download like Foot Locker. I mean, everything has an app now. Foot Locker, Champs, all that stuff. And sometimes just go to the store in person because just because it's sold out doesn't mean the stuff left on the shelf is not nice. So if you want to, because what's happening now, when I first got into ones, they were on sale. And now it's like the hottest shoe out. Alongside.
Besides phones.
Keep going.
But I mean, you know what?
From wherever you're at in the country, whatever your important shoe, I don't know what they call it.
But you know what? What started all of this was a phone posit. What started the whole like I can't get a shoe anymore was the Galaxy phone.
So everybody from DMV was online at one time.
I don't even think they didn't come out online. You had to actually go to the store.
So this was back when you had to stand in line.
You had to stand in line. I remember leaving school.
Oh wow!
I literally left school.
So he left education to go get his tennis shoes.
Absolutely, and I got 2 pair.
Like Nelly, give me 2 pairs.
And they actually are selling. They still selling, and the shoe is almost 10 years old.
Would you say it's bigger than DC now? It's like made its way across the country.
I think phones has always been across the country.
Yeah,
that's every shoe. I mean, a lot of shoes are globally or nationally, however you want to put it. It just depends on where you are. Like the question you asked earlier, what shoe is bigger at the moment?
Yeah, and at that time, like how people were buying Yeezys and stuff. Now people were buying phones like that in like 2008, 9, 10.
Mm-hmm.
Back when he was 10 years old.
I'm not, bro. I was in college.
That's what he was going with. So I think what I'd like to hear about today was, you have sneakers. You have different ways to get them. It's kind of what you want to do. But on the other hand, if you're into the video games and the video game systems, you have 2 great choices between the Xbox and the PS5. While one may be cheaper or one may have different games, it's all about what you want and what you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
And I think today's whole discussion has been around personal choice. Don't necessarily be told what to do. Go out, do your research, find out what works for you. Because this is stuff that you're going to either wear, live with, or it's something that's going to be in your home and you're going to play with.
Yeah.
Perfect. Julian, I want to thank you today for coming on. You've been one of a good guest to help us because you just educated me on some tennis shoes. I might actually go out and y'all ain't gonna lie.
I hope so.
I'm an Adidas fan. They're comfortable. When you old, Adidas work perfectly. Julian, you want to stick around for our DM slide?
Sure.
Okay, we're gonna go right into it. Thank you, Julian. So, everyone, the DM slide. As you guys know, the DM slide is for you guys to slide into our DMs. We want you to come ask us a question, be it about previous episodes or about any topic that's on your mind. And today's question, Dre, I think is a really good one.
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely good. Can't wait to hear
Here we go.
Perspective.
Here we go. So today's question comes from Instagram user @Mo_Reese91. And they asked, what is your definition of cheating?
Julian.
Ooh, well, you know what? Before we go into Julian, I say let's give our pick. Let's not put our guests on.
Okay, let's put David on first.
There we go. So my definition of cheating. I've thought of cheating as before you can cheat, well, there's 2 different directions. I feel like you can't cheat unless you're in a committed relationship. And usually I like to say marriage. So if there's no ring attached to it, you're just dating and having fun. Once a ring is put into it, now you have a committed relationship. But besides that, when I get to cheating, I'm thinking, let's establish a set of rules for our relationship. These are our rules. And when you step outside of those rules for our relationship, now you're cheating. So what works for my relationship may not work for your relationship. So what you may think I'm cheating on, that's in your definition. But for me, I've established with my partner that no, this is okay. But if I go to X, now that's outside of it. Now I'm cheating. What do you think, Dre?
I think your way of involving the ring is more of the older perspective. I think nowadays it really comes down to if I sit here and tell you that we're talking, and a lot of times it's not even established that we're talking. If we're spending X amount of time with each other consistently, and I come to find out that you are talking to somebody else, then that's cheating. And it's really big, especially in my generation, because a lot of us don't necessarily like the word like titles. So since we don't like titles, I feel as though that once we spend, let's say, 2-3 consecutive weeks together, we together.
How many weeks?
2 to 3.
No, what's the word after that?
2 to 3 weeks.
Together.
Consecutive.
I say consecutive. But once we spend X amount of time together, we are together. That's just the way that we think, you know. And I just think that that's just moving with the times. And I know a lot of people may agree or disagree with me, but it's truly, if I'm with you and I wake up to you 6 days
after knowing each other 2 to 3 weeks.
After the 6th day, we together.
Just met you on the street last week, but baby, you mine.
Hey, that's how it goes sometimes. You never know. You can never put a
Julian, what do you think? You know, you're the resident married man.
I guess I am. So it's levels to this. But it's a mixture of both of what you both said. So in me and Ashley's case, even while we were dating, it got to a point like once we before we actually say like this is a thing, then you can pretty much do what you want. But once we solidify like this is a thing, there's different levels, and like it's kind of like you said, what we deem, because it's going to be different to each person's relationship. Because I mean, some people may be like, you can't be talking or texting anybody after a certain time. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you that, but it's weird. Like, who's calling you after a certain time when you're like in a relationship or married, especially if you're living with each other and stuff like that. When it comes to, I'm not gonna say 2-3 weeks, because I think, granted, we weren't talking to anybody, but me and Ashley dated for 3, 4, 5 months before we made it official. But after that, it's like now we know.
What do you mean by made it official?
Like, will you be my girlfriend or boyfriend? Whatever.
So you put a label on it.
Yeah.
You put a label onto a committed relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
That's interesting.
It's right. It's labels, not rings. That's
No, I'm okay.
Because everybody doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, some people don't get married or don't get engaged, but they are in a committed, hey, we've been with each other for 5-6 years, etc.
Yeah.
Not talking for 5 to 6 days.
Yeah. And then
why are you stuck on the timeline?
I just feel like that's not a long time.
Like it's really not even, but it's really not even about the timeline.
What if I had a date planned for next Friday and I started dating you last Monday?
Maybe you're missing the point. You're stuck on the timeline. Get over the timeline. Stop being old.
I think for us older people, even for younger people.
Stop being old, bro.
It's important.
Stop being old. It's literally like he said. We had to sit down and we had to establish this. Whether that's 2 to 3 days, whether that's 2 to 3 weeks, whether that's 2 to 3 years. You get what I'm saying? It was a conversation that had, and I'm pretty sure that conversation was had after they spent X amount of consecutive time together.
He mad.
No question. When you say it was a conversation that had to be had, so did the conversation include what I consider cheating?
Boundaries, yes.
And how does that go?
You sit down and you lay down what your boundaries are. What are my expectations? If we're going to sit down and put a label on this is what it looks like from my end.
Is this by face or through text, or do you DM each other?
Oh, I will hope it's by face.
Hey, he said the new generation. That's how they converse.
But it really is different. It just depends on their method of communication.
Okay, so what if you're in a committed relationship? What is flirting? How about that? What if you just flirt? I'm just having fun. This isn't nothing.
I don't know, because I've been told, because even in the beginning, Ashley thought I was a flirt, but I was just nice. And I like, if you start talking to me, I'm going to talk to you.
You heard it here first.
No, but over time, then if you stand next, like if you were a fly on the wall in like at a bar networking event, whatever it is, and I'm talking to a woman, you were like, okay, he's not flirting, he's being nice. Now, how the other person takes it is not my fault.
Exactly.
So would it be, after y'all had your discussion, were you more aware when you were having conversations with women, like how am I acting? Am I coming across too nice? Am I quote unquote potentially flirting? Is this something that may be towing the line?
Well, so with us it was a little bit different, because like she went through it first. I went through it with her. And then but so I mean, I'm married at this point. She knows me so she knows how I interact with people. And then, but we're both very like, I'm an extroverted introvert, and she's a very extroverted person. So when we're out and about, what may look to other people to be flirting, to me or to us is not. I mean, you pretty much have to be like, what that thing do or something.
Please elaborate.
That was an extreme.
Please elaborate.
That was an extreme.
Well, what about, okay, so I think we've all said that it depends on the boundaries of whatever you put together. Do you guys think that external factors influence as well? Like, just because you've put together what your boundaries are, do you have to go by what society says? And society says, oh no, I saw them on a date with another person, or I saw them removing their wedding ring, or I saw them kissing or touching or flirt, etc. Does the external who says, I think you're cheating, now does that consist of you cheating? And this is for both of you.
I mean, that's getting into like,
because all of y'all got friends.
I mean, yes, but I mean that gets into like sociology and all that. But it's like, I'm not gonna get that deep. Again, I don't know what they discussed at home, but if you're taking off your ring, if it's not for work, then you're probably doing something weird.
Because it's okay to cheat at work.
What? No. I'm saying some people can't wear their ring at work.
Oh. Yeah, I know in manufacturing you can't wear it because you're wrong equipment and everything. That's cool because, you know, sometimes there's people working at that machine. They don't need to know everything. Hey, baby, you look good with all that grease. I get it. I understand.
But I do think...
do you think we have listeners though that are like, y'all are pussyfooting around? Y'all know what cheating is. Why y'all playing like y'all don't know what cheating is?
In my perspective, what cheating is.
Because that's our podcast.
Cheating is after we sat down and we had our conversation of what boundaries are, and you still go out and break those boundaries. Or if I go out and break those boundaries. If you sit down and we have a conversation and I let you know that I have a lot of female friends, but you see me talking to somebody that's totally different, and I don't come home and explain that to you, you know what I'm saying? Then that's possibly cheating.
So if you're well, here's a good question. When you in those first 5 days, what if you're talking to multiple people and you just get to chance?
I'm not cheating because I'm not
right.
in a
No.
relationship.
So I'm saying, so on Thursday when you have that discussion, what about those other people that
you gotta sit down and you gotta let them know what it is. Honestly, if you're gonna be in a relationship, you should be in a relationship. Not sit down and trying to be in a relationship with this person while talking to this other person.
And this is just a question, I guess, for you. You think you're ready to be in a relationship after a couple of weeks?
I'm not gonna put a time limit on it.
You did.
And I told you get away from the time limit.
I'm just going by your time limit. You said 2 weeks.
I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. Like literally, I was in a relationship with a girl for 5 years after we hung out one time. So that it's truly possible. It's just a connection that you have with the person, you know. So just because I'm with you only 2 to 3 weeks, we could have been talking and texting for months prior to, you know. So
is that part of the talking time? Would you count that as part of your talking time in the months prior to?
It wouldn't count as my consecutive days together. You know what I'm saying?
Consecutive.
You got it right this time.
I'm not even talking about the word, but I'm saying like days in a row.
So like, if you take off Tuesday and meet back up with a Wednesday, does the clock reset?
No, it shouldn't. Y'all getting too deep into these words. Y'all really getting too deep into these words.
I think that's important because if you're going to say cheat, like, and I think like I agree with everything both of you are saying, but when it gets down to it, we do have to factor in societal norms, and people who you're hanging around with are going to look at you and say, I know he is talking to her, I know he is married to her, but I'm seeing the way he's interacting with her. That's cheating.
Right. Yeah. Right. And that's very true. But I think if you look at it that way, we factor in societal norms for everything.
We're just talking about cheating.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, if that's the case.
So for you, do you take in societal norms, or do you tell her, baby, you know what we got?
I sit down and I talk to her.
You
and
do
I tell her what it is.
like I continue, like baby, you know what we got.
Nah, not like I continue, but we sit down and we have a conversation. And then if you feel as though that I'm cheating, then we talk about it because that's what it's about.
And some of this stuff comes with time because me and Ashley never sat down and were like, this is cheating. Something happened that needed clarification, and it was like, okay, how do we feel about this? So that may take years before you fully know.
I think that's more realistic. I like that because what you're telling me now is maybe it's not a conversation. Okay, so let's talk about cheating. So to me, this is cheating, X, Y, Z. What else to you? Okay, we won't do that. It's more so over time, I see how when I did this affected you. So let me not do that again, or say this is me, I'm going to do it, and then you determine if that's okay or not.
Because it goes into like how a person was raised, how they interacted with their friends growing up, and all this different stuff. And it's like for me, that may be weird. For you, it's totally normal, and it's like nothing behind it.
Interesting, Trey.
Yeah, I think I agree with him. It definitely deals with like the trauma that the person has had in their past, because somebody could have cheated on them and they want to be upfront, honest, and have that conversation. So it's just about when that person feels comfortable with having that conversation, whether it's from experience, letting something happen for it to bring back old situations and old feelings, or being upfront and honest, like, look, this is what I expect, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I consider cheating, this is what I consider X, Y, and Z. You get what I'm saying? So it's pretty much just when you're ready to have that conversation, that's really what it's about.
So is it okay to cheat?
No.
Okay, so I think, there we go. So I think we could end on a good note of saying that, hey, cheating for you guys, when you're out there, talk to the person that you're with. Have that conversation. Either have it directly or indirectly over time. Make sure you guys know what's comfortable and what's uncomfortable to you and talk about it so that you don't go out looking like Boo Boo the Fool when something happens.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I love to hear it. Julian, thank you so much. I think you did real good today on the DM slide. You provided your insight and input. A lot of people out there will probably go get married because of what you just said. So thank you. Thank you. You are now the face of marriage for all of us.
I mean, I am the face of marriage in most.
He really is in all of our friendship groups,
Yeah.
guys.
Definitely thank you again, Julian, even though you brought a lot of laughters. Tonight has been a very
Multiple laughters.
However, whatever. Tonight has been very eventful.
I forgot to tell everybody that we were brought, today's episode was brought to them by Crown. Be it Crown Peach, Crown Apple, or I think it was some tequila up there.
Yeah.
There you go. Guys, if you are interested in sliding our DMs, if you like what we said or you don't like what we said, slide in our DMs on Instagram. Go to the.perspective podcast. You can let us know, give us more topics, tell us to elaborate. We are there for you.
And definitely subscribe to our channels on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at The Perspective Podcast.